What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be getting into my Seattle Seahawks 7-round mock draft. I am a big-time Seattle Seahawks fan. I did one of these last year. Going to be doing another one again just to get my input on what my team or what I think my team should do. So let's get into this here, and we're going to start the mock draft right now. And with the first pick, this is all weird. Caleb Williams still on the board. Malik Neighbors still on the board. He does go. So, yeah, it's kind of quick. But if I'm the Seahawks, I'm not trading it. Those trades are honestly pretty ridiculous. So, we're not going to go into that. You take a look at the Seattle Seahawks drafts picks. They don't have a second-round pick. Remember, they traded for Leonard Williams. So, they don't have one of those. They have 2 fourth-round picks, a third-round pick. I believe that is a 6th or a late 5th-round pick, then a 6th and a 7th. So they only have 6 picks. Seattle, I think, has some needs on the team, especially on interior O-line. If you just take a look at that group, it's probably the worst in the entire NFL right now. Honestly, when it comes to guards that they got right now, especially because, what's his name? Lewis left to Carolina, so they need guard help for sure. There's a lot of good options. Talise Fuaga's on the board. I really like Graham Barton for the Seahawks. Graham Barton, I think, could be an all-pro type guard. I also think interior D-line's an option here. You got Jerzine Newton on the board. But I'm not, Talise Fuaga, I think, is a great player. But I'm going to take the risk of trading down here. I don't like to trade down too much. So with it, let's just take a look at the offers. If they're ridiculous, I'm not going to accept them. So we get that's not the worst trade I've seen. I do kind of want to get like a 3rd-round pick, but I could see that. Just load up on some value in the later rounds and then take something. We're not going to do that for the sake of this video. We're not going to do that, and we're not going to do that. So I kind of like that one. Let's take a look. Some teams that I think could trade up here. The Cardinals are one of them. If we get, what does the trade think? It thinks that's a good deal. Can we maybe get something else? We can even get a 5th-round pick. What if we get their second's pretty high? So I don't think they would accept that. I think that's a good deal for us, right? We get a okay, I'm not going to fleece them too much. I think that's a little bit too much. But it's not letting me exit out. So let's click on a different team. Let's make this deal. The 66th pick and their 4th-round pick. 104. I mean, they got a lot of picks. So I think the Cardinals could be a team that could trade up. I know they're a division rival, but honestly, I think we should do that. We should get their 3rd-round pick. Another team that I want to take a look at that could maybe trade up is the Eagles. Well, Eagles, we have their little scenario there. Washington, I think, is a team that could trade up. If we can get the 36th pick and the 40th, that's a good deal. It does say that's a bit much. I think we would have to give up like a 6th-round pick, or let's do a pick next year maybe, because we got all 7 picks, or actually we don't. I mean, I like that deal. We get 2 2nd-round picks. I'm going to do that, honestly, over the Cardinals one. The Cardinals one's good, but I kind of like the value of having 2. Now, can we get an interior O-line that late? It's risky. I think I want to know what you guys think about this, but I'm actually gonna I think we're so desperately need interior line that I like the Cardinals one a bit more. So let's just do this. We get the 16th pick. Cardinals get the 27th, we get the 27th, a third round pick, and a fourth round pick. Not bad. Okay. Why doesn't it let me exit out? Okay. Sorry, I was trying to see. Okay, this is taking too long. We're gonna do this right now. We're gonna get this trade done. So you guys are probably clicking off the video as I'm speaking. So let's trade that. We made it done. They take Jazine Newton. Graham Barton goes off the board, but Fuaga's still there. He goes off the board. Amarius Mims is still on the board, and I am very high on Amarius Mims, except for we don't really need tackle. Jackson Powers Johnson's on the board. We could take a crack at a interior O-line or a center and just roll with who we got. I think that this is what I'm going to do, guys. I'm actually going to go with Amarius Mims. I think he's the better player available here for our team. I think you can slide Abraham Lucas into the interior. That's kind of my strategy there. So I like the pick of Amarius Mims here. That's going to be my pick at 27. Slide Abe Lucas to guard, and hopefully he can play guard. I think he will do just fine at guard. Because Amarius Mims is, if you've seen his profile, let's just click on him. I guess they don't let you click on him, but he's like 40 pounds. I mean, he's a freak, a huge player. Played at Georgia. Was actually a good player. He did deal with some injury concerns, but yeah, I really like that pick. Amarius Mims, A+ it gives us. So let's move on. I don't think we're going to trade up unless, Kingsley Sumante is a good player that could play guard, but I don't like the idea of trading up here. Let's just play it out. Yeah, here we are already. So we're not going to take a look. I think we should just stay. After that long trade, let's just stay here. So some players I'm looking for. I'm still looking. Cooper Bebe's on the board. A good interior O-lineman we could take a crack at. Safety, Javon Bullard, I really like as a prospect. I think we could use a safety. Just have some depth there. Interior D-line, Rook Aroru. It looks like Tavondre Sweat went off the board. Tavondre Sweat's Rook Aroru's on the board. I really like Rook Aroru. I think Chris Jenkins. I'm really torn between. I think Chris Jenkins is better than Rook Aroru. Both of those players are good prospects. They're very similar type prospects, kind of lighter weight players. I think just Chris Jenkins has better tape overall, though. That's why I would go with him. Not really any linebackers here. I mean, Trevon Wallace is decent, but I think, interior line Cooper Bebe would be a good pick there. And I think we could, if he slides, we could take a look. It's kind of hard to trade up with this draft, but I'm honestly going to go with, it's really, I think, coming down for me between Chris Jenkins and Javon Bullard. And I think I'm going to go with we got Draymond Jones. We got Leonard Williams. Our safeties are decent as well, though. I'm going to go with Javon Bullard, though, because I feel like that Javon Bullard will fit into that scheme really good for Mike McDonald. So I'm going to go with Javon Bullard here. Wait, I want to take a pause. Can we trade up? Okay, Hicks. Let's just Jenkins is still there. 74. What's our next pick? 81. Do we just trade up to get him? Who's on the clock? It's the Falcons. Whoa, I almost clicked restart. That would have been bad. Sorry. Falcons are on the clock. They're accepting that, and I'm doing that any day of the week. To get... no. They want to trade back up with us. That's just ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, Chris Jenkins, that's a steal at 55. I really like that pick. So let's go with Chris Jenkins. Cooper Bebe's on the board, but I'm not going to trade up twice. We're just going to let him go. There he goes. So we've got Amarius Mims, which is basically our interior O-line pick. But I want to take a crack at another interior. Someone that the simulator just doesn't like is, or he's off the board. I was going to say Jonah Ellis, for whatever reason, is getting very slept on in this draft class. I'm a big Jonah Ellis fan out of Utah, but, he's not on the board. So we got 102. We got 104 as well from that trade down. So we got D-line. I kind of want to take just a crack. I'm not entirely sure who Cedric Van Pran is, but that would make sense to draft 2 Georgia linemen, right? Just pair Amarius Mims and Cedric Van Pran together. Just take a crack at another interior because we don't know how Abe Lucas is going to look at a guard. All right, so I think that 2 positions that we should take here with our next 2 picks are linebacker and tight end. Trevon Wallace is still there. I'm a fan of Trevon Wallace out of Kentucky. I'm going to go with that. I'm a fan of Trevon Wallace. I'm going to go with that pick. The simulator doesn't like that as much, but I like that. He's a good player out of Kentucky. We're not going to trade down here. Now I think we could take a crack at an edge. Gabriel Murphy's the player it says we should take. I'm not entirely sure. There's just a lot of edges in this class. I haven't got to these guys down here. Cade Stover is on the board. I think we need another tight end. So we're going to go with Cade Stover. I'm not going to... Let's just call those 2 trades our 2 trades of the draft. So we're not going to trade up. Let's just go down here. I'm liking our draft so far. I mean, the trades were interesting. We only got 2 more picks. Yeah, we couldn't even trade up anyway. So with our last 2 picks, I mean, maybe take a crack just at a QB if anyone's still available. We still got a while. Or it's coming up, actually. Yeah, we're almost there. Jordan Travis is still on the board. That makes a lot of sense. Jordan Travis is a type of QB that I think would go middle of the day 3, which is around here. I mean, I like that pick a lot. Edge is a position we need. This guy is very highly graded for them. I think I would go with Jordan Travis, though, man. I think he's just the better prospect overall for us. Just get another QB in the building. We have Sam Howell. We have Geno Smith. But I kind of like just, getting Jordan Travis in the building. I know he's dealt with some injury concerns, but, it's a late 6th-round pick. So, yeah, I think this last pick we're just going to go with a edge. Again, I don't know, any of these guys, but Xavier Thomas out of Clemson. We're going to go with the top player they have. So that is my Seahawks mock draft here. Let's let this finish so then we can take a final look. Amarius Mims with our first pick. Offensive tackle out of Georgia. Javon Bullard. We got another. I just realized we have 3 Georgia players with our first 4 picks right there. That was a coincidence, but I do like Javon Bullard and Amarius Mims. I'm not entirely sure who Cedric Van Pran is, but It seemed like a good pick to me. And then Trevon Wallace out of Kentucky, I think, is a good late or a fourth round pick. Chris Jenkins, I think, is a steal right there. And then we got Cade Stover, Jordan Travis, and Xavier Thomas. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the content. Go Hawks. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. We'll be doing my third mock draft for every team, 2 rounds next week right before the draft. Super hyped. All right, anyway, guys, see ya.